And welcome to another edition of Mailbag. And like in the previous set of mailbags, I'm recording a single header for many answers that you guys have left on the channel, and there is a lot to go through this evening. So before we get going, remember these are mailbag questions and comments that you guys leave on the channel that are well worth actually sharing with the wider community. But before we start, we always go through parish notices, which are, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, why not? Hit the subscribe icon. If you want to be notified about when videos hit the channel about things like this thing that's just off shop, which is the IDA 2400, that's the bell icon. If you like the contents of the video you're just about to watch, you know what, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the video on the YouTube algorithm. Also, leave comments down below. I do read them, I respond to them, and that's the reason why we're having this mailbag conversation now. And finally, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, consider supporting the channel by becoming a member of the TMTG community. The address is down below, as are the Instagram and Facebook tags where the normal channel notices are posted. But now back to this particular mailbag. The next one comes from Prodigal Sounds in response to the Roland A-80 D05 and Don Miro Sunday morning rant I did in September 2017. God, that doesn't seem that long ago. And he writes, the weight is almost entirely the keys themselves. The metal chassis is actually not that massive. Even the section of base that is metal covered in particleboard is not that heavy in comparison to the actual 88 weighted keys. And this was in response to the fact that the A80 is just, I mean, it's 35 kilos, but it's also 35 kilos and nearly 6 foot long. So it is a monster to lift, and when it's also in its carry case, it is even more of a monster to lift, which is why I've got wheels on mine. Because there's no way I can lift the damn thing. I mean, it takes 2 people to lift it. It's got 2 handles on it. The proper carry case I've had made for it. Anyway, you do make a good point. The weighted mechanism on the A80 is phenomenally good, and even I say that, and I'm, you know, piano players really go into the weighted mechanism, but keyboard players tend not to. And I probably am more of a keyboard player than a piano player, even though I use a weighted keyboard on a lot of these points. But I will follow this one. Yeah, I've got to be honest and say I will follow this up one day and take the back of the keyboard off and show other tubers just how well this thing is made. And now that I've got the workshop and I've got space to do it, it actually makes that task much easier. But of course, it's down in storage at the moment. The A80 was designed to go on the road. It was designed to be the central point of a MIDI stage setup. That's really what this thing was all about. This thing was all about gigging, and that's probably why it's built like a Russian tank. The keyboard board construction, in my mind, is one of the best bulletproof keyboards that there was, and probably has been. It has a full metal chassis that stops it from warping. It has lasted. There's no pressure on the contacts. You know, it is just bulletproof, and that's probably why people who have A80s don't sell them. You know, you don't see A80s coming up for sale very often. And I know, because I do keep my eye on the market, because I'm looking for a specific thing for the A80. So you see very little material on the A80 come up. I mean, there probably wasn't a massive amount of them sold. I don't know how many A80s Roland actually sold around the world. But even having said that, they just don't come up that often. And I was really lucky to get mine, even though it was in a bit of a state, and it's been brought back to rude health. I think that there's two elements to it. The second part is the power supply. Now, while this board is not by any means over the power supply is not by any means over the top, it is quite a lumpy unit. So you know, that combined with the weight of the actual 88 keys is what gives this thing the weight. But you know, as I said to you, you know, when it went on the road, it went on the road. The people put it in cases and they moved it around, but it still took two burly roadies to move it. Okay, this item comes from Nekoin Kehonai. I'm not even going to attempt to repronounce that. And this is in response to how do I get the 7x7 pack for my Roland TR8 and the difference between Soundcraft and the MX1. A video I did in November 2020, and I'm not going to say your name because I will get it wrong. So the question is how to get the 7X pack on the TR8. The difference between the Soundcraft and the MX1. He quotes the video. Right, how to get the 7X pack on the TR8. I've watched the other video on this, and then he says it's clickbait, one after another, lack of audience, disappointing again, and nothing, nowhere, only air, and something plausible on this matter. And the video he quotes is not clickbait. Actually, the video he quotes actually very clearly states that this is what has been put out into the market space. It actually is not clickbait at all. Clickbait is where you actually say something that you're not doing, and the video was really quite explicit because I watched the video that is being quoted. So I object to the term clickbait. I don't put anything in my titles that is not truthfully about the videos. I don't put thumbnails that don't accurately represent what the video is about. And unlike other YouTube channels that really do this stuff, I don't. It's against my policy. My titles and my thumbnails reflect the contents of the videos. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. The description against the video clearly states that this was provided by another YouTube user. I also stated in the video that I hadn't at that point been able to confirm what had been said. I was just relaying what somebody else had said to me. Lack of an audience. This channel is not set up as a get quick rich scheme. Those who follow my channel know how many subscribers my channel has. It's clearly displayed against the channel. They also see how many views certain videos have, and I don't get a lot of views per video. I'm the first one to admit that, but then again, this channel was not set up to make money. It was not set up to drag people in to watch a 10-minute video about something that the title and the thumbnail were clearly incorrectly or misleading. So I kind of object when people say that. I'm not beholden to any particular manufacturer or user group or anything like that. This channel is an independent one, and if I do at some point in the future a paid for view video, I will clearly share that with you in the interest of being open and honest. In the interest of airing comments on the channel where they are ultra to my views on the channel, I've always stated that that I will publish these with the right for me to reply, which is what I'm doing. I put my views to camera and publish them to the community. You might not agree with my view, and that of course is your right, because otherwise we wouldn't be living in a democracy. And I've published this comment. I completely disagree with it. The video is backed up by a number of other people thanking me for the update, even though Roland have not published the 7x7 update for free or paid at the point that this comment came in and that video was made. Now, subsequent to that, Roland have now published the 7x7 pack. It's $120, and the only way to get it is by subscribing to the Roland SoundCloud.